Okay, Arizona, we've got your final grade. Many teachers and education advocates give you an F. You're failing in many areas when it comes to supporting education. In fact, you're last or nearly last compared to your other 49 peers. What's your weakest subject? Qualified teachers, or the lack thereof. And your relationship with the teachers you do have is, well, complicated. Let's talk about that. This is AZ Central Rewind.
Arizona needs qualified teachers.
This desperate need for teachers.
Nearly half of Arizona's teaching positions are vacant.
526 teachers either abruptly left or they resigned within the first 4 weeks.
Warning signs of an impending teacher shortage started back near the end of the Great Recession. Many school districts had expressed concern over teacher retirements and the lack of new teachers onboarding. And since 2009, the state has cut over $1 billion from K-12 funding. That means less money not only for students, but also for teachers. And even with recent state and local efforts to boost teacher pay and add resources, the shortage is continuing to worsen. To put it simply, it's been harder to get teachers into classrooms and to keep them there. And of the teachers making it into the classroom in Arizona, about 1/5 are leaving the classroom within a year. By year 3, 40 to 50% of teachers leave the classroom in Arizona.
Turnover for teaching is high, but many professions have that. What this turnover means is that we have a very large percentage of our teaching workforce has less than 5 years of experience in the classroom.
So that's the symptom. What's the cause? Competitive pay can mean the difference between attracting new talent to a career and losing long-term professionals. Pay for high school teachers has dropped about 10%. In other words, teachers are taking home less money than they were more than 15 years ago. And some schools have gotten so desperate, they are expanding their search to other countries.
These positions are often difficult to fill and to retain. So difficult that one high school district here in Pinal County had to recruit teachers from as far away as the Philippines.
So if you think about it, Arizona's pay is competitive if the state is competing with a country where the average salary is about $14,000 per year. Pay is a big deal for teachers, but it's not the only thing discouraging them from teaching in Arizona. Many teachers love their work, but the pressures of increasing workloads, decreased wages, low support, low respect has made it difficult for some schools to find and maintain their teaching staff. More than 1/3 of teachers in Arizona classrooms have less than 4 years experience. This used to be an issue mostly affecting rural, poor schools, but now the problem has spread into urban, suburban, and higher performing schools. And in 2017, it appears the problems have stacked up. The Arizona School Personnel Association reported that 526 teachers in Arizona quit within 4 weeks of this school year. Those 526 teachers represent about 1% of the teachers in the state. That's a big deal. Governor Doug Ducey says he has a plan. During his 2017 State of the State, he rolled out 15 proposals targeting Arizona's most pressing education issues. One of those proposals, the Arizona Teachers Academy, launched in September. Students in that program will get their tuition and expenses fully paid for every year they commit to teach in Arizona. The program will expand to 730 teachers in the next 5 years. Governor Ducey also earmarked $38 million in additional funding for high-performing schools. The governor and the legislature also added $250,000 to a loan forgiveness program targeting math, science, and special education teachers. And another $250,000 were added to improve training opportunities for principals and other school leaders. Remember those education funding cuts during the recession? In 2016, voters approved Proposition 123 to help settle a long-standing lawsuit over the state underfunding schools during that time. Prop 123 increased the amount of money schools get per student, which allowed schools to spend more on teachers, but it didn't require that money to be spent solely on teacher raises. Prop 123 essentially settled the school's lawsuit versus the state for 70 cents on the dollar. To help further address teacher pay, Governor Ducey and the legislature in 2017 approved a 1% pay increase for teachers and promised another 1% in the coming year.
It's time for a raise for Arizona teachers.
It's a bonus that amounts to about $430 a year for the average teacher. The state is also trying to fill positions by allowing teachers in the classroom who don't have all the requirements of a standard teaching certificate. One of these certificates, called the Emergency Teaching Certificate, allows somebody to teach in a classroom who has no formal training. All that's required is a bachelor's degree. 1,035 emergency teaching certificates have been issued so far this school year. Last year, that total was 789 certificates. Certificates such as these put teachers in schools in a difficult situation. For teachers, they're coming into the classroom with little to no teaching experience. For schools, more support is needed for these teachers who are essentially learning on the job. But the question remains for educators. When will the state fully recover? It's going to take years of extra tutoring for Arizona to get out of the bottom of the class. And even then, this teacher shortage will be on Arizona's permanent record. This is AZ Central Rewind, where we listen to your questions about recent events and take a step back from the action to give you the answers. Let us know what you think on Twitter or Facebook, and hit us up if you have any more questions. For more, go to azcentral.com.
Seize the day. Gather ye rosebuds while ye may. Why does the writer use these lines?
Because he's in a hurry.
No. Ding! Thanks for playing anyway.